Welcome back, everyone. Today we're getting started with the speaking section of the PTE Academic exam. If you are planning to immigrate to a country, get a new job, or enter into university, then you might need the PTE Academic for one of your certificates. Now, speaking part can be tricky, but if you follow the tips in this video and our strategies, I know that you will get that high score that you desire. So let's begin. I'm Scott from HZad Education. Now let's go through the format. So coming at the very beginning of the exam is the speaking and writing section. This will go up to 45 minutes depending on how fast you speak and write. Today we're just looking at speaking. There are 7 types of question and 1 unscored personal intro question. This is intended to just get you warmed up and ready for the exam. You don't have to stress or prepare too much for that. So the very first question is going to be read aloud. Now in this type of question, you're simply going to read the sentence that is in front of you. But biggest tip is don't try to imitate an English accent. It's okay to have a non-native accent. You are not dinged points for that. However, you do want to match punctuation and enunciation. So when there is a period or a comma, you should be pausing or slowing your speech. Most important thing is to preview the text before you start reading. You want to take a look at how many sentences there are and just give a quick understanding of where you will be pausing. So I would read the sentence like this. Cities have long been viewed as centers of innovation and cultural exchange. Although urban expansion brings challenges, such as pollution and congestion, it continues to attract ambitious individuals seeking better opportunities. Pretty normal, pretty natural. So don't overthink it, but try to avoid being very monotoned. We want to have variety in your sentences. Now, as we get into the second question type, it is repeat a sentence. I do want you to note that you are getting marks for your listening section because you have to listen to the sentence and repeat it. So one of the few areas where you get speaking and writing, we have some more down here as well, where you get points for listening. Good to keep that in mind. So let's take a look at this example audio, and then we are going to repeat together.
Please water my plants. They need care every day.
As I heard it, I would repeat the sentence like, please water my plants. They need care every day. Please water my plants. They need care every day. Simple. Just repeat the sentence as you hear it. If you do miss words, try not to freeze. Continue to the next. It's very important not to overthink or get stumped on particular words. So make sure that you try to grab the entire sentence. If you pause at the beginning and you lose your track or you lose your pace, it's very hard to catch up after that. Just a moment, guys. If you are taking the exam in 2026, do make sure to comment down below to let us know. The exam is changing and we are changing with it to keep you updated. That is our promise. So make sure to comment down below and like or subscribe to the channel. I'm Scott from HZad Education. Let's continue. Let's talk about describe an image. Now, most people have a little bit of trouble with this. Templates are gone. We just simply cannot use templates anymore. But stay tuned. I do want to give you some key points that you need to address when speaking about describe an image. You might get a photo like this, which is a graph or a chart. Those are very common. However, in recent years, they have been using more scene images, where you have to describe something like a carnival or a picture, something like this. It doesn't matter what type of photo you get, we are going to follow this important structure. The very first sentence that you say should be an overview of the image. So you can look to the title like this and the Y and X axis. That will give you a lot of information and enough to talk about the overview. If it is a scene image, then you're going to do one general sentence about the picture. In the picture, I can see, like that. Number 2, the second thing you're going to do is talk about the highest and the lowest features. So I would start talking about how England was the highest for hotel accommodations and how Scotland had the lowest for camping accommodations. Now, make sure you are not having any assumptions. You are only talking about what you can see in the picture. If it is a scene picture, then you can start talking about in the right corner, in the left corner, in the bottom right. So you can say in the bottom right, there is a man driving a car. Use prepositions and descriptive vocabulary. Sentence 3, this is where you add any additional information. So anything you haven't yet covered, like how hotels are the highest among all categories, or how camping and caravans are the lowest among all categories, with the exception of Northern Ireland, which also has the lowest for self-catering. Interesting. So you'll do the in-betweens, anything you haven't mentioned. Final one, number 4, conclusion statement. One final statement to describe the picture. Again, we are not making assumptions. Don't assume what will happen in another country or in another image. Only talk about what you can see in the picture. Now, the next section of the exam is answer short questions, and I won't spend a lot of time here because it's kind of like a yes or no question. Either you know the answer or you don't. They are going to ask you fast, short questions that make you think about vocabulary and context. So either you will be able to answer it or not. However, if you don't know the answer, still attempt something. There might be a key word in your sentence or in your short word that triggers the algorithm to get some type of point. No guarantees. So if it says something like, what is the opposite of ancient? You could say modern. What type of instrument measures temperature? A thermometer. So it's vocabulary based, context based. Either you know it or you don't. Try your best. It's not very high for marks. Let's go on to the next. Now, retell a lecture. Let's go ahead and listen to an example because I want you to hear the intensity of what it will sound like. And then I'll give you my best attempt to retell this lecture. Let's go.
We will discuss the concept of freedom of speech, a fundamental human right recognized globally. Freedom of speech is the right to express one's opinions and ideas without fear of government censorship, societal sanction, or legal penalty. It's a cornerstone of democratic societies, allowing for the free exchange of ideas, fostering public debate, and aiding in the pursuit of truth. However, this freedom is not absolute. Many countries impose certain restrictions on speech, such as laws against hate speech, incitement to violence, or defamation. These restrictions are in place to balance individual freedom with public safety and the rights of others. It's a delicate balance that often leads to legal and ethical debates. Historically, freedom of speech has played a pivotal role in social and political change. It has been instrumental in civil rights movements, political campaigns, and in challenging societal norms. The advent of the internet and social media has further amplified its impact, allowing ideas to spread rapidly and globally. Yet this digital age also brings new challenges like the spread of misinformation and the debate over the role of social media platforms in regulating speech. To say the least, freedom of speech remains a vital yet complex right, continually evolving in the face of new societal and technological landscapes.
Now I'll post my notes on the screen here so that you can see. This is what I'm going to try to retell. It's kind of a heavy lecture, so let's get started. Freedom of speech is a human right globally. It's the ability to express opinions, ideas without the fear of legal penalties or punishment. And it is the cornerstone of democratic societies. It's the ability for us to exchange ideas, and it really draws out debate and truth. However, this is not always the case. It's not absolute in all countries. Some countries have restrictions against speech and also defamation against governments. This means that we need to have a deliberate balance between law and order and humanity. It is a pivotal role in change for political change as well, and the internet has allowed things to expand, different reach, introduce new challenges, and such as misinformation and platform regulation. Okay, that was hard. That was a lot of information, but that was Obama. I love that speech. Let's continue. So when you are writing your notes for Retell a Lecture, most definitely you need to write notes. You're going to start with the topic, the very first thing. Have at least two main ideas, two subpoints, and you can see the notes. I like to organize it like this: main idea, maybe a subpoint or an example, and then try to have that final conclusion or the wrap up sentence for the lecture. Now let's listen to a very quick example of summarize a group discussion so you can see how there are different speakers at one time.
Debate club to be this much fun. At first I thought it would be all formal and serious, but everyone's been so welcoming and supportive.
Same here. It's one of the best decisions I've made this semester. I've met so many new people, and it's helped me feel more connected to campus life. Plus, I'm definitely more confident speaking in front of a crowd now.
That's great to hear. I joined last year, and it helped me not just with public speaking, but also with critical thinking.
The most important thing that you want to do in this section is identify the speakers and give them some type of title, like the first speaker or the man, the woman. This is an imperative so that when you are speaking, you can refer back to it. Then we're going to use verbs like he mentioned, she argued, all speakers agreed, or they all highlighted together. These types of verbs make sure that you are following in track in order of the sentences. So you could identify the man, the woman, the group, and then you're going to continuously use those identifications to be talking about them. You'll be aiming to speak for 2 minutes about the discussion, so make sure that you have enough information written down to have content to speak about. Then you have respond to a situation. You'll listen to a prompt, and yes, you are getting marks for the listening section as well. It will be a simple type of prompt like this, not very long. But within that, you need to answer the question in a very natural and normal manner. So the best way to do this is think of it as a 3-part section. Your formal hello and your introduction. So you'll say, hello, professor, thank you for your question. Or, dear classmates, I appreciate your inquiry. So formal introduction to the person asked you a question. Next, you're going to address the request or the problem. And again, do this in your best, most natural sense. It's okay to take small pauses in your sentences, but we want to avoid long, extended pauses where we are stuttering or asking ourselves questions again. We don't want to say, maybe try to have small pauses and then continue with your speech, addressing the question. Finally, your last sentence will be a call to action or some type of goodbye, a polite goodbye. A call to action is when you tell them to do something. So you might tell them to phone you tomorrow, or you might ask them to follow up for an email or follow up in an email. And then you just say, thank you, goodbye. So think of this one as 3 parts. It's not super heavy for points, but we do get points for listening and speaking. Now, if you're looking for more information on the writing, the listening, or the reading part of the exam, do check out our channel because every week we're posting new videos to keep you up to date with changes, strategies, and using less and less templates because templates aren't working so well in 2025 or 2026. We need to know relevant content. So check out our channel, like and subscribe. If you enjoyed this video, please do support us. We appreciate that. I'm Scott from HZad Education. I'll see you in the next one.